The Podcast's Empire, podcast mastery for women in business.
Are you a video podcaster and you're really not quite sure how to edit your video episodes so you can upload them to YouTube? I'm going to simplify this process for you today with the information and a step-by-step tutorial on how to achieve that. Now, some video podcasters use a software like Riverside where they can record and edit in the actual software. For those that are recording on Zoom, this is a great alternative so you can edit your video episodes. It's not for everyone, but it might just be for you. Now, Wondershare Filmora is a cross-platform for making videos anywhere for all creators. Now, you can easily make impressive and captivating videos using Filmora. With Filmora's built-in editing features, creating videos only requires a few simple steps, and I'm going to simplify that process with a step-by-step guided tutorial for you today. And stick around to the end because I've got a free resource that I'm going to share with you as well. So enjoy the powerful features of Filmora, and if you want to check out Filmora, check the show notes below for the link to get started. So let's head over to my screen so you can see the step-by-step tutorial. This is the dashboard. When you join Wondershare Filmora, this is what you will see. Now, there are add-ons and integrations that you can add to this, but this is a very basic beginner step-by-step tutorial today. Now, what you've got the opportunity to do is to come into here under Media, and you can click this plus sign here, and you can import your media. So you would need to have everything downloaded to your computer so you can upload it to Wondershare Filmora. Now, as you can see, for the purpose of this video, I have already added some pictures, an intro, and my video podcast episode. So that is already prepared for you. What I'm going to do is actually put my intro into this section here, and I'm going to have it match to media. Now, this is a podcast episode that I done with a beautiful Pinterest queen, Kim Ward. And if you would like to know how to generate leads, maximize and build your business with Pinterest, click the show notes below and you'll see Kim Ward's link there as well. So we're going to take the video episode next and put that in there. That is the raw, unedited version. Then I'm going to use the scroll bar right at the bottom here, and I'm going to scroll all the way to the end of the episode because I'm going to put my outro for my podcast in there as well. I'm going to scroll all the way back to the beginning, and I'm going to play the intro.
The Podcast's Empire, podcast mastery for women in business.
Now you can see there how it played the intro that's already pre-made and uploaded to Filmora. And you can see how it transitioned easily into the actual video podcast episode that I uploaded to Filmora as well. Now I'm going to use this arrow here and scroll back a little bit. And I'm going to add what's called a transition. So that's going to load. You're going to have a choice of many different transitions that takes you from one scene to the next. Now, the one that I like using the best, this is just for me, is the cinematic digital slideshow. I really like this transition. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop that and see how I've positioned that in the little middle part here. So when we actually play it, it has a transition, as you can see. Now, when we go in, we can see on this sound bar here that there is a gap right at the very beginning of the video episode. Now, I want to be able to cut that out. So I'm going to put my cursor on here and I'm going to slide it all the way up to the start time. so that it can start where it's supposed to start and there's no dead air time. So let's move this cursor up. Let's have a look. Editing is a time-consuming process depending on the particular outcome you want, but this is very basic and beginning.
Welcome to the Podcast Empire, where we help women in business launch.
So as you can see, we've got the outro, we've got the transition, and we've shortened the video from the editing to be able to go straight into the video episode. Now, you'll need to listen to your episode all the way through so you know where to put additional transitions and or graphics or photographs in there to add a visual element to your actual podcast. Now, you can actually do that with your own media like I've done here. And there's also stock media at the top here, top left-hand side. And you can type in anything that you want to. So you can type in woman and it will come up with stock images. Some call them B-roll images to the actual podcast. Okay, so let's try adding one of my graphics here. So we're going to go through and listen so that we're interjecting and placing the appropriate B-rolls or graphics to match the words or the content being spoken during the video podcast to add that visual element.
Profitable podcasts that build their brand and influence. We are bringing you today a Pinterest expert,
So when we say Pinterest expert, I'm going to add a little bit of a element here to showcase our Pinterest queen. So I'm going to add on the top a graphic, and I want to kind of shorten it a little bit. You can have it as long or as short as you want to. Some people like a flash of an image, some like a image that's going to take, 20 seconds. And see how it doesn't fit the screen. So we can click on that image and we can increase the image. We can increase the image. There we are, to fill the actual screen so that it's going to cover that and give a really good visual element. So when it plays,
marketing expert. Now, we met in 2019 on a...
So there you are. I'll go back and play that for you again. It's that easy. You've got the image, you drop it here, and it'll transition into that while the video is playing.
A marketing expert. Now, we met in...
Now, see how that graphic just flashed? Another element you could add to that if you wanted to really add a different element to your video podcast, you can put a little transition in there. So I've done the cinematic transition again. The cinematic transition is here, but I'm going to shorten it because we don't want it for the whole graphic that pops up. And let's take a look at that with the transition with the graphic.
A marketing expert. Now, we met in 2009.
And I've decided that I may just want that up there just a little bit longer. So you can see how detailed and how finicky almost editing can be. It's very time consuming. So when you're possibly outsourcing your video podcast editing and you're thinking, why are they so expensive or why are they charging so much? This is why, because editing is time consuming. Okay, but this is a beginner tutorial for you.
Marketing expert. Now, we met in 2019 on a...
Now, I'm really happy with that graphic and the transition to add that other element to showcase my podcast guest. Now, what I will do, and for the length of this short tutorial, I'm not going to add all of my images, but you know now how to add the images. You would go through and you would shorten everything that you want to here with the editing tool. And then you can go up to here and you can change your audio if you want to, the volumes, etc. If I click here, it's going to give me the different volume settings, and then I can change them and click apply. So you would go through, add your images, add your transitions, and edit it all the way through. Now, when I get to the end where my outro is, then I would probably want to add, you can add stickers if you want to with Filmora. You can add stickers at any point into the actual video itself. You can add this on here. You can add this on here. You can add whatever you want to on there. And to undo, you just go undo, undo, undo. And that'll undo anything you've put in there. You can add filters if you want to with Filmora. So you can go through and add a filter to your actual video. And all it is drag and drop. Now you'll see these little diamonds here. That is a paid version for different elements. So there's different additions you can add to Filmora if you want different effects. Now this is effects here as well. So you can grab a light streak effect and you can maybe put that into there, or you can put it into there. It'll download. So we've got that in the background. Okay. So when we play it,
US-based reality show, and Kim Ward is the bomb diggity. She is.
So there we have it. We have a light streak in the background just to add more of a visual element, and that's with the effects feature. We've already spoken about the transitions feature. Now let's go to titles. You can put your title here. You can add your title. You can change it to whatever you want to. You can add audio. We're going to wait for the audio. You've got a whole heap of audio. Now, always check that your audio is copyright free. It's public domain, because if you're uploading any podcast, whether it's audio or onto YouTube, it has to be copyright free and public domain, or you'll get a copyright infringement and it may affect your channel when it comes time to monetize. But they are the stock feature elements as well in there that you can add at any time. So if I wanted to add that in there, that picture, now this is just random to actually show you. We're going to download that online content. I'm going to move the cursor over to here. And when it actually plays,
around Pinterest and SEO leveraging and how it.
So you've got B-roll pictures and B-roll videos. So add what you want to in there. It is a drag and drop, go through your whole entire video podcast, add all the different elements, cut out any sections that you don't want to add in there, and then check your audio up on this feature here. So that is a very basic tutorial on Wondershare Filmora. If you'd like to see a more advanced version, please drop that into the comments and I can send that out to you. Please subscribe to the Podcast Empire and stay tuned for more podcast branding and marketing and monetizing tips for your video podcast to build your brand and influence. Let me know if you'd heard of Filmora before in the comments, and I'll see you on the next tutorial in the pod.
The Podcats Empire, podcast mastery for women in business.